Hi there everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my bookshelf tour. Obviously in the last part I featured quite a lot of books that were on my shelf. Again, I'm just going to continue right now, so I hope you all enjoy. So at the end of the last video I was talking about The Inheritance Cycle, Eragon, Eldest and Brasinga by Christopher Paolini, and now we're going to move on to the next pile. So the first book on that pile is Hachiko Waits by Leslie Newman. This is a very short book, as you can probably tell. I know you can't see it very well from the angle it is, but it's such a sad story. I really enjoyed that. I think I read it in under an hour at the end of last year, and it was such a great read. It's actually based off a movie as well, and the movie's obviously based off the true story as well. And it's such a sad story. I absolutely loved that book and the movie. Then on the next pile, it's kind of strange because I don't have the first book with it. For some reason, I think it might be in my school bag. I think I was showing someone it. And obviously that means that there's only 4 books there. I think there's actually 6 in the series. I don't have the 6th one. I do have the first one, like I said, in my school bag though. I'm sorry it's not in the video, but the ones I have are Spirit Walker, Soul Eater, Outcast and Oathbreaker. And they are the books in the Chronicles of Ancient Darkness by Michelle Paver. The first book is called Wolf Brother. And then if we go down a bit, we have The Medusa Project, The Setup by Sophie Mackenzie. That's the first book in the Medusa Project. I haven't actually read that yet. I'm hoping to read it sort of very soon actually, because I remember reading a bit when I got it at first, and then I got distracted by another really good book, and I never actually went back to that, but I remember that being very interesting. It's about genes implanted into people, and it's very interesting scientific kind of read. It's really cool. And then I have the first 3 books in the Cherub series by Robert Muchmore. There is The Recruit, Class A and Maximum Security. They look really nice on my shelf actually. I really like the colours of them, very bright, and they just sound really good. I can't wait to read them. The final 3 books you can all see are part of a trilogy. I'm sure you'll have all heard of it. It is the Chaos Walking Trilogy by Patrick Ness. Highly successful trilogy. I really want to read it quite soon actually. I've heard so many great things about it. So the books are The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer and Monsters of Men. Like I said, they're all by Patrick Ness. They all sound really good. They get very high ratings and stuff. So, hopefully I'll enjoy them when I get round to them. So now if we move down to the next shelf, firstly at the top I have Changeling and Changeling Dark Moon by Steve Fiercy. I have actually read the first book and it was okay. I haven't read the second book yet. It wasn't an outstanding read or anything. It was an enjoyable read, but I just didn't enjoy it like really loads or anything. So that is basically the reason why I didn't go on to the second book straight away. And then we have Invisible City by M.G. Harris, and I've heard mixed things about that. Some people really love it, some people don't like it as much. Some people actually find some things about it quite annoying, so I can't wait to see what I think about that. I got that last year actually. I'm hoping to read it quite soon. I keep saying I'm going to read everything quite soon, but I'm hoping to read them soon, in the near future really, within the next year or so. I really want to read that one. That is part of a series as well, so there's obviously more books in the series as well. I'm going to see if I like it first before getting the others. And then I have a Spanish Dictionary and Grammar. I can't actually see who it's by at the current moment. The logo on it is very small when I'm looking at it on the picture right here, so I'm sorry that I can't tell you who it's by, but it's very thick and it's very useful. I do use that quite a lot. It has some great words in, some great grammar tips, and it's just so good. Then if we continue at the top, we have Skywolves by Livy Mitchell. I've read that. It was a very good book. I really enjoyed that. It was quite a quick read, I remember, and I don't know when I read it. It was quite a while ago now, but it was a good read. The next book is I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Law, and obviously if you watched the previous tour and the part 1, you will have realised that I had The Power of 6 right at the top in hardback, and I didn't actually enjoy that. I actually enjoyed this first book. I Am Number 4 was quite a good book, but The Power of 6 was kind of disappointing really. So, I'm probably not going to continue with the Lorien Legacies. Then we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, and this is a very successful book. A lot of people love it, and I hate to say I don't actually like it that much, unfortunately. I was very disappointed. I think because it received so much hype, I was expecting it to be so much better than it was actually, and I found it a bit boring. I don't really see why everyone loves it so much, to totally be honest. I did try and nearly finish it, and I nearly finished it actually, and I stopped like 100 pages towards the end because I just got so annoyed by it, I couldn't continue. And I know you might be thinking, well, just finish and read that 100 pages, but I just couldn't put myself through it. I'm really sorry. Then we have Give a Dog a Home, How to Make Your Rescue Dog a Happy Dog by Graham Sims. I've read that. Very enjoyable read. Very easy read, and it's just so enjoyable really. Then if we go to the bottom, I have Holes by Louis Satcher, and I really enjoyed that book. It was a very quick, easy weekend read. I have reviewed it on this channel if you want to check the review out. And then we have the Harry Potter books, obviously by J.K. Rowling, as you will all know. There's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, The Chamber of Secrets, The Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows. Now I'm sorry there's kind of a mix of covers there. I want to try and collect them all in the signature editions because I really do like them. They are very, very simple, but I don't actually like the children's covers, to be totally honest. So I'm hoping to collect books 2 and 3 in the signature editions and then start reading them again, because I have read them all, but I read them ages ago and I want to reread them again. Then I have Watership Down by Richard Adams, and that's a really, really good book. I read that a couple of years ago and I really enjoyed it. Then Wolf's Angel by M.D. Lachlan. I haven't read that yet, but I want to read it soon. It's about a wolf, and it just sounds so interesting. You know, obviously I love animal books, so it's going to be really, really good. Then there's Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. That's a very, very interesting read, actually. I really like the demons in there and just how everything works and stuff. I find it very, very intriguing, so definitely check that out. You know, it's the first book in a trilogy, I think it is. I can't remember the trilogy's name on the top of my head. I'm really, really sorry about that. I'm just going to go have a look what it is called now. Ah yes, so obvious when I actually see the name of it. It's called His Dark Materials Trilogy. It's really, really good actually. I need to buy the other books. I really enjoyed that first book. Then there is Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer. I haven't read that yet. I'm hoping to read that soon. Looks quite a quick read, so you know, hopefully I'll be able to read it within the next year or so. Then Running on the Cracks by Julia Donaldson, and I have read that. It was a nice read. It was quite an easy read. Very quick read. The writing style in that is very, very big actually, and it was a very enjoyable read really. Then Wilderness by Roddy Doyle, and again I have read that and it's a very enjoyable read. With that, I don't think it's an outstanding read or anything. It really didn't blow me away. I think I'll give it like a 3 out of 5 or something, so it's quite an average book, but it was a very enjoyable book nevertheless. And then you can just see there Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funk, and that's an incredible book. I really enjoyed that when I read it. I'm sorry this next bit is a bit unclear really how I've taken the picture. I'm really, really sorry about that, but I think you can still see the books I'm talking about. So if we start at the top, we have The Eagle of the Night by Rosemary Sutcliffe. Apparently that's a phenomenal book and I can't wait to read that. Then we have Warhorse by Michael Morpurgo, and I recently read this last week. It was such a great read actually. It wasn't outstanding actually. I think I was expecting it to be a bit better really, sort of a bit more emotional, but I thought it was a very, very good read. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 overall by the end. And then we have Eon by Alison Goodman, and that's the UK cover, so it's called Eon Rise of the Dragon Eye. I've heard so many great things about Eon, you know, I really want to read it soon. Apparently it's a really, really good book, you know, I've heard so many people reviewing it and talking about it, and a lot of people I know that like the same things as me actually really enjoy that, so I can't wait to read it. And then if we go to the bottom, we have Oxford Paperback Thesaurus, and it's basically just as the name explains, a thesaurus, and it's very, very useful. Then we have Silverfin by Charlie Hickson. I haven't read that yet, I'm not sure when I'm going to read it. Then we have Ravensgate, Evil Star and Night Rise, all by Anthony Horowitz. Let me just go check the name of that series, I'm not entirely sure. It's called The Power of Five. I'm not actually sure if it's a trilogy or a series actually, but you know, they look really, really good books. Then we have Lion Boy by Zizou Corder, again another animal book, so I will obviously love that when I read it. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, apparently one of the best books of all time, so I've heard. Can't wait to read that. You know, obviously J.R.R. Tolkien also wrote The Lord of the Rings, which I had at the top of my shelf. Then Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. I haven't read that yet, and I know a lot about it. You know, I've looked at the play and stuff, and I know a bit about it, but I can't wait to read that actually. It's a classic book, but I think I will enjoy it. Then we have Easy Learning French Verbs, and then a Collins French Dictionary. Both of them are very, very useful. I do use them for school. Then we have The Secret Passage by Nina Borden. It's a very good book. I read that quite a while ago now, actually, quite a few years ago, but I really enjoyed it. Then Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. Very, very good book. Again, I have read that. The London Eye Mystery by Siobhan Dowd, and I have read that as well. And I didn't enjoy that as much as the previous two that I've shown you, but I really enjoyed it still. I thought it was a nice read. And then Tunnels by Gordon and Williams. I don't really know much about that book, but I can't wait to read and see what it's about. I'm sorry this picture's very, very blurry. I think when I was taking it I must have had a shaky hand or something, because it's very, very blurry. But it doesn't really matter, because I'm not going to really go through these books in much detail now. I'm just going to sort of explain what they are. So most of these are revision guides and revision material for school really, so obviously I use that when I have exams and things, and I absolutely hate exams. I have some in summer which I'll be revising for, and that means I won't be reading as much as well, which is kind of annoying, but I'm really sorry about that. I can't do anything about it. I'm still going to try read one book a week and provide a review and a fragment Friday a week, so that should be at least 2 videos. Maybe I'll do 3 videos if I do like a tag or a topic video as well. Like I said, most of them are revision guides. A few of them are not, such as the Wolf's book, but most of them are. So there is actually a book here, and it's The Portal by Andrew Norris. It's just down here simply because I couldn't fit it anywhere else on my shelf when I was rearranging it. Now I can actually fit it somewhere else, but I'm just going to leave it there for some reason. I'm just going to keep it there. I have read that and enjoyed it. It was a nice read. And then I also have some DVDs such as Dancing on Ice, Planet Earth, Eragon, and there's some DVDs right at the end as well. And then I also have some games such as The Sims 3 for PC and Zoo Tycoon 2, Pet Vet, Zoo Vet, things like that. I'm not going to go through them in loads of detail because this is actually a bookcase tour, but I'm just showing you everything that is on my bookcase. So if we just move on to another shelf, which I don't actually use that much, I just keep sort of random miscellaneous stuff on here. This first shelf is basically just some hardback books. I don't actually look at them or use them that much, you know, stuff like the Bible stories and stuff. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I got given from my grandparents or something, but I'm actually an atheist, so I will never read that. Some of them I will look at, such as like Which Pet, Guinness World Records, How Things Work and stuff. They're very interesting, but maybe I'll look at them in the future, but generally I probably won't look at most of them. You know, I just store them up there because it's a neat place to store them. And then in here we have a game shelf, and I have some Wii games, some DS games and some PlayStation 2 games. I don't actually play games that much now, I read a lot more. I used to play games a lot more when I was younger, but I don't really do that anymore, so you know, I'm reading more, I actually prefer that. I apologise you can't see these next two shelves very clear. I couldn't get any closer because my piano was blocking the way. I'm really sorry about that, but there's not actually much I want to show you on these shelves. So on the first shelf you can see it's just some random things, just some random statues and ornaments and stuff. I do also have a box of bookmarks, which I might do a video of actually quite soon, because I've got some new bookmarks recently which you might find interesting. And then I just have some random hardback books there, and then on the other shelf there's just some old books that I read when I was very, very young, and I enjoyed them actually, so that's why I kept them. I did have a lot of books when I was younger, but I didn't keep them all. They're the ones I remember really enjoying now, so I kept them so I have sort of a reference of what I read when I was younger. And now just quickly before I go, I'd just like to say these are my Hunger Games posters which I just put up this weekend. They are absolutely amazing, you know, they do look a lot better in person actually. The camera doesn't do them any justice at all really. You know, it reflects and stuff, and it's really nice because they're in proper frames and stuff, and they look very professional on my wall, and I absolutely love the Hunger Games. So I saw some posters in HMV last weekend. I just had to pick them up straight away as soon as I saw them. So that's everything. Yes, finally we have finished. It's taken a long time to edit and do everything, but I've finished. I hope you all enjoyed the bookshelf tours, you know, part 1 and part 2, and I'll see you all again later.